hostel in Amsterdam, sitting on the floor. It's 10:30 and I am leaving tomorrow for my bike trip. I bought a bike today, a second-hand bike from a guy. I found a listing on a marketplace on Facebook. I know that they are sketchy. I have done a lot of research onto this. Well, the Netherlands has a lot of bikes. Probably the best country to bike in. I think I read where there's 600,000 bikes in Amsterdam, which is more than people that live here. I also heard that every year there's about 6,000 bikes that are found in the canals that they dredge up. So that's crazy. But so stealing bikes is a big problem here, and on the marketplace groups I saw on Facebook, some listings looked sketchy. I contacted a lot of people, asked for frame numbers because I was told that was the thing to do, to check on the national registry. I did a lot of research on this, and so I finally had this one guy send me a message saying he had a invoice from buying it. You know, I looked into it, everything, and felt comfortable getting it from him. So I met him earlier today and tested it out and got it for more than I originally had wanted to spend. I was hoping to do 50 euros, and then the more I looked into it, the more I saw that they were higher. I went to 2 different bike shops to look at prices. Was told that 145 euros for one of the popular brands of bikes here. That was a standard price, and I was like, that's crazy to me that they're selling those bikes in a city that has so many bikes, and they're able to sell these second-hand used bikes already for as much as I could buy a new bike in the States. And some of these have rust on them, so I was just like, I just don't want to do that. I didn't want to get a really nice bike anyway, just because I have 2 bikes at home. But this idea was kind of not a spur of the moment. I've been thinking about it for several weeks now, while I've been here in Europe, to try to do this bike trip. And I'm all over the place. I can feel, probably because I am very scattered. I've been thinking about doing this bike trip for a while. I've done bike trips in the States before, and love that it's another way that I can travel and see the places I'm going through a little slower than taking a bus or a train. And I originally thought, Netherlands, Belgium, small countries like that would be doable, so I looked into Amsterdam and Brussels, and it looked like it, I think some people could probably do that in 2-3 days, but I'm going to try to span it out over 5 days or so, doing about a little over 30 miles a day. So I don't need a really good bike. I didn't want to spend too much money because I'm also not sure if I'm going to be able to sell it after. So I just wanted a bike. And I know you get what you pay for, but I think I got a quality bike from this guy and got a bike lock for it, as well as the frame lock it comes with, and we'll see. I decided my first test will be if it's still there tomorrow. If it is, then I will head on down the road. Obviously, it's all up in the air on how that bike's gonna do. The previous owner said he just got a new tire and inner tube for the back tire, so that should be good. It looked good, but you just never know. I could make it 5 miles out and it breaks down, which in that case, I'm not going to be that far away from things that I can't just call a cab or get on a bus or whatever. And if I make it all the way, then that's great, and I will go from there. So I have hopes that it'll go really well, but I think very practical, realistic ideas, I guess, of what, you know, could happen. So we'll see. I've kind of just put this all together fairly quickly. I will be leaving tomorrow morning. Like I said, it's about 10:30 at night, the night before, and we'll see how it goes. The only thing is I've got my pack that I have to put on the rack somehow, or I just wear the pack, which is not the end of the world. So we will see, and I'm sure I'll try to film more tomorrow. So that's it from the hostel in Amsterdam. Alright, this is my setup for my bike. Got my clothes bag, another bag, and then I'm wearing my pack. I took the brain off so it wouldn't be so high up. It just ended up being too big to put on the back rack, which is what I thought. So I'll just wear it. It's light enough. I think it should be fine. So I'm anxious to start, so I'm gonna get going, and then I will probably update along the way. Okay, wish me luck. across from a little farm stand I stopped at just because I was riding by and saw all these cars parked and bikes parked in the field. So I decided to stop and check it out, and I ended up getting a local beer, some of their apple juice, some really lovely cherries, and an apple. And decided to just sit and write in my journal for a little bit, as I am just 3 miles from the Airbnb I'm staying at tonight, which I booked at 12:30 this morning, because I was trying to find a place last minute, obviously, since I just figured it all out last night. And it's about 5 o'clock, so doing pretty much what I expected, and it's been going great. I think I'm probably going about maybe 7 miles an hour. I was kind of estimating 5, so I'm going faster than that. I think when I was in the city, I slowed down because I was having to stop a lot and cross streets and constantly check my phone to make sure I'm on the route that I'm supposed to be on. And but once I got out of there and I had some straight shots following some canals and rivers, then it ticked by faster. The setup that I've got so far is because I was struggling with how to put all my stuff on the bike. So luckily I have a back rack. So I took my clothes bag, which is the biggest thing I have, really, is like this big. Even though it's not super heavy, it's bulky. So I took my clothes bag out of my pack, put it on the back rack. I tied the drawstring to the seat post, and then I'm using the bike lock to strap it down onto the rack. Then I'm wearing my pack, but I took the brain off, the very top part of it off, and took some other things out of it so it would be pretty light. And then I've got my day pack, and then I've got this reusable bag that I have, and that's what I put the brain in. And I just hang those two off of the handlebars in the front, and then I wear my fanny pack. Bike seems to be doing okay. The only thing is, the typical pain in the butt from the seat and biking so much. So that's really the only thing so far. So I'm just like super stoked, super happy. Everything is going pretty smoothly. And hopefully that tomorrow will be the same. It's now 5:30, so I'm gonna head on out and get to the Airbnb. Bye. Well, I figured I could show you the setup. This is my pack without the brain, so that's what I'm wearing. Then I've got the clothes bag tied here and then strapped down with the lock. I've got the brain in there, and then I've got the day pack there. So they just kind of hang like that. I had them kind of tied up earlier, but ended up taking forever to untie them, so I figured this is good enough. That's my setup. Pretty simple, basic. It works. Doesn't need to be fancy. Later. Well, I made it to my Airbnb in Houten, Netherlands. It was 36 miles from Amsterdam. I got here at about 6:30, was able to take a shower, and now I'm having my dinner out on the rooftop terrace. So, having a really nice time. Today was just a dream. It was wonderful. I picked up this food at a grocery store on the way. Got this beer at that farm stand I stopped at earlier. I just booked a Airbnb for tomorrow night at about 30 8 miles away from here. I wanted to stick to that distance because it worked for me today. Obviously, I could have gotten here earlier, but I did take, breaks and ended up staying at that farm place to write in my journal for about an hour. So, and then I stopped at that market and other things. But, so I think that would work out. And I'm staying at Airbnbs just because I'm not really going to big cities to be able to stay at a hostel. And I don't want to push it. I don't want to push my luck with that bike. So I want to do a bit shorter day. And so there's really nothing besides the Airbnb. And luckily I found that in the exact kind of area that I was hoping to get to. And obviously, I don't have a lot of money, so I usually am looking for $50 or under. Really, when I was in hostels, it would be cheaper than that. Airbnbs do tend to be a little bit pricier. The one I'm staying at tonight was a bit pricey, but I really didn't have another choice. So I usually try to go 50 or under. 30s are ideal, but it's nice to be able to have my own room and to be able to take a shower after having long days on the road. So that's nice. And bonus, I do have a TV in my room here, and I'm hoping that I will be able to watch a World Cup game finally. It's Australia and Norway tonight, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to find that on the TV. So, cheers to a successful first day for my bike trip from Amsterdam to Brussels. Later.